The conservatorship, I'm in a conservatorship, is the third year of me being under that, and I felt like a lot of the things were planned for me to do, and
I think the main thing I do remember when it started was my dad's control. He loved to control everything I did. I remember the first day he said, "I'm Britney Spears and I'm calling the shots," and I'm like, alrighty then. All I do remember is I had to do what I was told. I was told I was fat every day. I had to go to the gym. I had to I never remember feeling so demoralized and just...
So today I'm going to be talking about Miss Britney Spears. This has been long overdue. So Britney Spears is a bright star. Okay, I made a video almost a year ago about bright stars. And in that video, I was talking about Aaliyah. And when I say bright star, I don't mean like a celebrity. Oh, she's a star. She's a bright star. No, I mean spiritually. When you have a bright star, you are a machine, okay? And when you're a machine, that means your essence, it's very powerful, it's very potent. So you have the ability to draw in large crowds. You have the ability to, when you talk, people listen. You have the gift of influence. People want to be like you. Many people see you as an inspiration. Many people see you as, a mogul or whatever. So when you're a bright star, it's like you have a very, very powerful essence. The essence that is attached to you, it's very powerful. And, when you're a bright star, when you're in public places, people are watching you. People are always staring at you. When you go to the gym, people may start following you around. Bright stars have difficult time in workplaces because people want to attach themselves to you. People are obsessed with you. People are always watching you very, very closely. When you're a bright star, people are always watching you very closely, meaning people are on your trail a lot. Like they're always like half a centimeter behind you. It's like people want to live in your shadow when you're a bright star because they want that proximity, whether it's physically or mentally. They're stalking you a lot. So bright stars deal with that. But one of the most darkest sides that bright stars deal with is possession. Okay. So notice the word possession. I talk about that a lot. I talked about possession with Selena, right? Yolanda wanted to possess Selena. Her father was already simultaneously possessing her because Selena's father was controlling her every move as well. Anna Nicole Smith, same thing. Possession. She's not allowed to leave the house. She's not allowed to go to the grocery store. She's not allowed to even speak her piece without getting beat up, right? Like that guy that beat her up before class. Same thing with Aaliyah. They wanted her to do specific things. Phyllis Hyman, they stressed her out to the point where she had a mental breakdown and unfortunately took her own life. Michael Jackson, we saw how they did him. Whitney Houston, we saw how they did her. So when you're a bright star, the masses essentially want to control you and use your power for their own personal gain. And when you don't allow them to use your power for their own gain, because your power is yours, right? And when someone is a bright star, you need to know that your power is yours so you don't let anybody have it or use it. The only person that should use a bright star is God. Nobody else is allowed to use you outside of God, right? So people want to use you, and then when they realize that they can't, they start trying to control you or they start trying to mentally break you down. So that's why with Britney Spears, all those medications that they were giving her, it was to keep her, allegedly, they wanted to keep her kind of in a vegetable state where she's not aware enough. Another thing, allegedly, don't know if it's true. That's why they were saying that Jay-Z keeps Beyonce, allegedly, don't know if it's true, on substances. So when you're a bright star and you're a machine and you have a very powerful, potent energy about you, people need to be able to control you in whatever way possible so that they can keep harvesting and eating off of what you're able to bring in. So essentially, you become people's puppet and people are the puppet master, okay? When you have a bright star, the first thing that the masses and people around you are going to try to do is control you, okay? When somebody is a bright star, meaning your energy, your essence, your aura, you're like a machine spiritually, you're very powerful. So people who are bright stars, they are like machines, meaning they can draw in mass crowds, they can draw in mass groups of people, they have a lot of power, they have the gift of influence, they can draw in large crowds, You know, they are very vibrant. You know, people want to know about them. People are curious about them. That's bright star energy. Okay, bright star energy, from the time the person was a child, they were already a star. They were destined to be a star, okay? They were destined to be a star. And that's why a lot of you guys, you know, when you go to these workplaces, you know, when you go to these churches, places of worship, religious organizations, public spaces, parties, clubs, bars, restaurants, everybody, it's like all eyes on you, and you don't understand why. It's because you are a star. You are a star. And the reason you get treated badly in workplaces is because you're not supposed to be there. You're a star, you know, you're supposed to be doing something else. So when somebody has bright star energy, everywhere you go, people subconsciously treat you like a celebrity, subconsciously. That's why you get so much hate, because your energy is bright star. You're supposed to be VIP, right? So let's talk about Britney Spears. You guys have been requesting this video from me for such a long time, and I finally went into it. So Britney Spears, born December 2nd, 1981. She's still here, thank God. Born December 2nd, 1981. Again, not surprised. Very warm. December 2nd, I believe Anna Nicole Smith was November 28th. Selena is, I believe, April 16th. Again, pay attention to the patterns that I'm talking to you about. Again, these people are very warm. They walk into the room in flames. People want to get near them for their warmth, right? People want to get near them for their warmth, and people want to withdraw on their warmth, and then people try to control them, okay? Me, first week of August, okay? When you have that type of bright star, fiery energy about you, people are attracted to you for the fact that you walk in on flames. You're very warm. You light the place up. And then they want to stick next to you for that warmth, but it's not for the right reasons. People become obsessive and people become controlling. Happened to Whitney, happened to Selena, happened to Anna Nicole Smith, happened to Michael Jackson, and then, of course, happened to Britney Spears. They tried to do it to Nicki. A lot of you guys don't understand. Nicki Minaj is not hated because of her attitude or all this stuff that people try to make up. Nicki Minaj is hated because they wanted to control her and she wasn't going for it. Allegedly, Roc Nation pitched an offer to her. She probably read over the paperwork, read over the fine lines, and it probably was giving control. And she was like, oh, hell no, I'm going to go stay over here and I'm going to stick to Young Money. I'm not going to, you know, it's all about control. And then when Roc Nation allegedly realized that she wasn't on board, that's when they started trying to sabotage her career, allegedly. So it's all about control. When you're a bright star, people don't like you in the way that you think they do, okay? And we're going to talk about that with Britney Spears. When you're a bright star, people do not like you in the way that you think they do, okay? They like you because of the power that you possess, the energy that you possess. That's really what they like. It's not you as an individual. It's your star that they like, which is why when people don't get what they want from bright stars, they start to abuse them. So you have to understand, if somebody truly likes you and they can't get what they want from you, they're not gonna unravel. But when you're a bright star, it's not you that people like. People don't like you as a person. They don't like Britney as a person. They like the power attached to Britney. They like the energy attached to Britney. They like the way that her aura is able to draw in crowds. They like the way that when she goes on a stage, she lights it up in flames. You know, she brings in a lot of money. She brings in currency. She brings in crowds. She brings in attention. She brings in opportunities. That's what they like about her. They don't give a damn about her as a person, because look at how they treat her. So what bright stars have to understand is people don't like you for you. They like you because of what you carry. They like you because of your anointing. They like you because of your power and your spirit. It's not about you. And you will notice that when people cannot get around you or they can't control you, they start to unravel, okay? So bright stars have to be aware that it's all about control and possessing your energy, harvesting your energy. That's really what it's about. And if you are a bright star and you understand this, you will understand that people's motives to get near you, it's not always pure. And it's up to your discernment and intuition to find out, why does this person want to attach themselves to me? Okay. It's up to you to understand that. It's up to you to understand that, and I have a lot of people that may not get that. So with Britney Spears, the people around her spotted her bright light since she was a child, right? People saw her bright light since she was a little girl. Now, the problem with that is, again, emotional intelligence. Your child has a bright star. You can see that. So as a parent, are you going to leverage that and use your child's bright star for your own advantage? Meaning you're going to harvest your child's bright star, overwork them, right? They tried to pull the same stunt with Demi Lovato, overwork them, push them in front of places that's not safe for them. Did the same thing with Justin Bieber. Overwork them, put them in rooms that are not safe, so that you continue to harvest on that child's energy to bring more money to the family. Okay, so when you're a bright star born into a family, it's going to go two ways. People are going to see your bright star since you're a child, and they're going to harvest it, capitalize on it, and try to make money off of it, and kind of essentially pimp you out, essentially, like what they did to Britney. Or they are going to start messing around in your destiny, with the dark arts. They're going to start tying up your destiny. Certain family members, aunts, uncles, they will see the child in the family with the bright star, and now they're visiting people, going to different countries and islands to see how they can bottle up your destiny so that the world doesn't see you. That's what my family tried to do to me. So it's either going to go two ways, right? It's either going to go two ways. Or the third way, which is the healthy way, where your family and the people around you are going to see your bright star and they're going to protect you. They're going to protect you. They're going to be your guide, and they're going to make sure that people are not capitalizing off of that, and they're going to protect that energy and that bright star that you carry. That's how it's supposed to be, but it rarely goes that way. So with Britney, it's a telltale story of possession, harvesting, and abundance snatching, okay? So basically, her family saw that she had a bright star, and they're like, okay, let's start possessing her, and let's start harvesting her, and let's start overworking her so that we can capitalize on her. So all of these bright stars, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Phyllis Hyman, these were all people who were machines. Spiritually, they're machines, meaning they bring in mass crowds and they're world changers. The problem with that is when you have that power in you and you allow people to possess you. That's where it becomes a problem. And it's not any of their fault, because you have to have a lot of spiritual understanding to understand what I'm talking about. So for me, I'm very big on there's no possession that will I don't allow people to come around me and start possessing anything. That's why some people, when they meet me, sometimes they may think, okay, I'm an acquired taste. I'm an acquired taste, because I know that this is spiritually speaking. When you have a bright star, when you are a bright star, you may end up in abusive relationships where, you're meeting men, you're dating men, and they start to develop this strong sense of control and possession over you. They may start beating you up, getting physically abusive because they want you to submit. They have an obsession with your submission. When you go in the workplace, people pay more attention to you than everyone else. They have an obsession with submission. Religious organization. That's why I say when I go to churches, I sit all the way in the back. I don't want to mingle with anyone too much, because they try to possess you in religious organizations as well. They want you under their dominion. Whenever somebody is a bright star, you have to understand that the masses' desire is to possess and control you so they can harvest your energy and steal your abundance. Okay, that they want to use you. People are users. So they want to be able to use that energy that you carry for their own personal gain. Okay, and that's what they did to Britney. So with Britney, she said something very interesting. She said that her dad said, "I'm Britney." So basically, in a way, he was kind of destiny swapping with her, because he started speaking that out. Remember, words are powerful. Her father said, well, I'm Britney. I'm Britney Spears. He kept telling her that because essentially he was going to control her every move, right? So he said, I'm Britney Spears. Allegedly, that's what she said. Her father said, I'm Britney Spears. So when you have a bright star and you have a powerful aura, you have a strong essence. First of all, people want to destiny swap with you. People want to live in your body. Okay? So the copying, the obsession, the desire for control, possession, submission, all of that is what bright stars are going to encounter, which is why these videos, if you're a bright star, these videos are going to protect you because you're not going to allow people to walk into your life on that type of time. Okay? If you guys even see the emails that I get where people tell me, oh, you should use these thumbnails, or I don't want you using Beyonce as a thumbnail, or you're a Christian, why do you have Nicki Minaj? Why are you talking about secular people? Ma'am, this is my platform. I don't know what you got in your head that makes you think you have the right to be dictating how I run my business. So you have to really set people straight so they understand that there will not be any possession or control when it comes to me. You can give your ideals, you can give your recommendation if you would like to a story on a specific thing, but you don't come in trying to control things. That's a whole other ballgame that we're talking about here. So when you're a bright star, you have to be careful so people don't think that you are now under their dominion, because when you're a bright star, people want to be God over your life. The goal is to be God over your life when they realize that you're a bright star, okay? That's where the control and possession comes in, okay? So her dad told her, I'm Brittany. So basically he knew that your life is going to go in the direction I want it to go to. You're my puppet. I'm the puppet master. So I don't have your bright star. I don't have your essence. I don't have your power. I don't have your energy. But I can use your essence, bright star, power, and energy. I can just use it for myself. I don't have it, but I can capitalize on it. So when someone's a bright star, you have to be careful because people don't have what you have, but that doesn't mean they're not going to try to eat off of it. That doesn't mean they're not going to try to capitalize off of it. So you have to have the spiritual awareness, intuition, and discernment to make sure that people know the only person that's going to capitalize on my gift is God, and right after God, me. Nobody else gets to capitalize off of it besides God and me. No one else, because it's for me. It's my gift. It's my power. My power's for me. It's not for anyone else. So when you have understanding of that and that mentality, you kind of keep people out of your way so that they don't think that it's going to be a puppet and puppet master relationship. Okay. And bright stars, everywhere you go, people want to control you. The grocery store, you go to the gas station, the person at the register is saying your lipstick's too bright. It's like people are always trying to tell you what to do. People have an obsession with your submission. They have an obsession with controlling you, and they have an obsession with telling you what to do. Okay. That's why I always tell people, please don't tell me what to do if I didn't ask you. Because the thing is, you cannot allow the energy to come in, because the minute for example, Brittany, the moment it started, especially if she was over 21, if she had the knowledge that I'm giving you guys, she would have told her father, Dad, I'm in charge. Dad, I love you, but I'm in charge. And maybe when I was a little girl, you were in charge and I appreciate you for helping me. But now that I'm of age, I'm in charge. And take your father off all the paperwork. Because it cannot turn into a control situation. It cannot turn into that. So you have to stop that from the beginning. You have to stop it from the beginning. Because if you don't, that's exactly what Selena, her dad was controlling her. Her dad was the one pulling the strings. So although that's your parent, parents try to capitalize on their children all the time. So if it's a parent that is trying to abuse you and use your light for their own personal gain to smuggle in money and smuggle in whatever, that's not a parent that is operating in integrity. Because before your child is a star, your child is your baby first. The Britney Spears is Britney Spears to the world, but to you, that's your daughter, and it's your job to protect her. That's why a lot of people had those issues with Kris Jenner. Kim is your daughter before she's Kim Kardashian. So therefore, that tape should have never hit the world, because that's your daughter first. And that's why Bruce got out of there, because it wasn't making any sense the way that they were rolling. It's like your child is your child before they are a star to the world. And you can't blame the parents too much, because sometimes the money, you guys have to understand, money changes people. Money changes people. Money, fame, power, that stuff changes people. So sometimes the parents fall in love with the fame and the money, and we're going to get our family out of, we're going to leave the humble beginnings, we're going to capitalize. And sometimes they forget that we are still family and we still have to protect each other aside from the fame and the fortune. Okay, but a lot of times, again, this goes back to spirituality. When God is the head of your life, your steps have to be ordered by God. You want to make God happy. So when people become a lover of themselves and they're no longer a lover of God, the Bible talks about this. When people become a lover of themselves, they start operating in corruption. That's why you got to keep God at the head and at the center of your life so you don't become corrupt. Because as humans, we can become corrupt. If we lose the fear of God, we become corrupt. A lot of these pastors, these prophets that you see are corrupt now. They didn't start off that way. The corruption sneaked in because they lost the fear of God. They let ego come in and they lost the fear of God. So these parents, for example, like Brittany's father, it got to his head. The money, the fame, the power, it got to his head, and he stopped viewing her as his daughter and he started viewing her as a product. Okay? So she was the biggest pop star at one point, right? She was the biggest pop star, and her parents saw her bright star, and instead of putting her, and they decided to put her in Hollywood at a young age, okay? She was in a relationship with Justin Timberlake. So let's talk about that for a second. I like Justin Timberlake's old tunes, but he got caught up in a lot of like weird court cases. I think, was it last year or the year before? I don't really remember. But when you have a bright star like Britney Spears, you got to be careful as to what is the man's intention for trying to attach himself to you, because men like to harvest and siphon women's energy. Okay, so they like to get close to you and start sleeping with you, and then now your life is going down and his life is going up. He's like exchanging destinies with you. So when a woman has a bright star, if you are a woman with a bright star, and if you're a man with a bright star, you got to be careful when it comes to your dating life. You won't be able to date like everybody else because you're a machine. You are a mass machine. Like, you have so much power in you on a spiritual level that anybody that sleeps with you is going to have a slice of that, no matter what. So people who have bright stars need to be practicing abstinence. And they need to be practicing abstinence a lot, like not sleeping with people, because you give your power away every time you do. And now their life, they get to take power from you and accelerate their life. And how are you going to replace the power they took from you? So bright stars cannot be sleeping around with people or having casual intercourse. You can't, because that's how your power is going to leak. Now, her being with Justin, I haven't really heard the best things about him in regards to relationships. I've heard a lot of negative things about him. I don't know if they're true. I can't confirm or deny. But those type of men sometimes tend to attach. Well, I feel like they both were being controlled. I think Justin was also being controlled in his own way too, because him and Britney were kind of around the same generation. But Britney got hit harder because, remember, we're in a patriarchal system. So women, they want to strip you of your power. So they probably came at her a lot harder than they came at Justin as far as control, because Britney's she's a woman. She's a female. So they will try to control you even more. So beware as to why men are trying to get next to you. And of course, in 2007, she talked about how she shaved her head, right? And she said that she shaved her hair specifically after being chased by the paparazzi. They took her kids away from her. She was so stressed. That was another form of control. They wanted to keep injuring her mentally and emotionally so she can break down. Remember, it's all a ploy. When somebody's a bright star, they want to attack your mind. The first place they're going to attack is your mind. So they want to break you down. They want to emotionally abuse you. They want to mentally abuse you, because if they can break you down mentally, now they have full dominion, right? That's why people don't like it when bright stars are always learning and growing and educating themselves and spiritually aligning themselves, because the more powerful your mind is, the less power people have over you. So of course they started, over medicating her, allegedly giving her all these psych meds that she didn't need to take, because they essentially wanted to turn her into a vegetable. so that she has no control. That was the goal. So they took her kids from her, of course, to instill emotional and mental injury to make her break down even more. And she shaved her head because she specifically said that she didn't want to be anyone's dream girl anymore. Britney Spears is very beautiful. So she came to a realization how the beauty that she had, again, this goes back to all the videos I make on beautiful women, for the women that envy beautiful women. A lot of beautiful women, people don't care about their beauty for the right reasons. So she said she kind of shaved her head because she didn't want to appear as this beautiful girl for the masses anymore. She didn't want to be bothered with the masses anymore. So she shaved her head as a form of retaliation. Like, okay, hey, I'm bald now, so get out of my face and leave me alone. Now I'm not that attractive. That's kind of like why she did that, okay? She got tired of being lusted over, and she got to see the dark sides of beauty. Many beautiful women will see the dark sides of beauty, right? And she started to see that, which is also the reason why she shaved her head. She wanted to be less attractive. So Brit was controlled for years, okay? They controlled her brain, the medication. Everything was essentially to control her. It was all about control and possession, you know? They didn't want to give her a break. They wanted to use her to keep bringing in money, and they didn't allow her to do what she wanted to do. She was always doing what they wanted her to do. And then when she decided no more, that's when they started messing with her mind, right? So bright stars have to understand that you have to be aware as to your mind and making sure that people are not allowed to access it or manipulate it.